Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. Look, if you're struggling to get up to $10,000, okay, I'm going to share with you probably some of the easiest places that you should be able to qualify. However, the thing about it, many people don't understand. I continue to tell you, you have to meet the minimum income requirements, okay? And like for many of these here lenders, all they want to know if you have a direct deposit, if you have consistent income, if you have minimum income anywhere between 500 up to 1,000 after taxes. Okay. And I also told you guys that with these here companies, they're using third-party credit bureaus. So the information that you put on that actual application, if it's not matching up with the third-party credit bureaus, this can cause a denial. So it has nothing to do with the credit score most of the time. It's just the information is not matching up. And the sad part about it with the third-party credit bureaus, sometimes they are using outdated information. And the reason I say that, you can stay in apartment A and move to apartment B. Because you stayed in apartment A for over 2 years, that's the data they have. So you just moved to apartment B and you only been there maybe 6 months or a year. So when you put that on the application and they're looking at the information on apartment A, because it's mismatched information, then they'll cause a denial. That's the reason why I tell you, you're not getting denied because of your credit score. All right. It's maybe mainly because of the information on the application. All right. That being said, the first place I would tell you guys is Cash App. Okay. So many of you may have Cash App. The thing about it with Cash App, they done went from 200, 400 up to $500. So now they're allowing you to borrow up to $500 from Cash App, which is great because Cash App allowing you to borrow up to $500. It's just like you working and then your boss is cutting you a check, and that way you're able to catch up on some bills that way. Also, another way, especially if you're working, don't forget to file that W-4 form, to file exempt. Okay, that's an interest-free loan itself, right? And you do that for 3 to 4 months, you're bringing home just about your whole paycheck to be able to get caught up on bills, all right? So that's the first one, Cash App. Second one is Albert. Albert is allowing you to borrow up to $1,000, okay? So that's even better than the banks, because like with U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, they're usually going up to $500. And the thing about it is their criteria, you cannot overdraft for at least 6 months to a year in order to qualify. It's no hard pull on the credit. So Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, and Bank of America, yes, they will give you a short-term loan at a flat rate. However, again, if you've overdraft for between 6 to 12 months, that will disqualify you, okay? But that is an option for some of you all. Now, here's something for you guys that are entrepreneurs, all right? Giggle Finance has increased their loan amounts they're willing to give. They're giving up to $10,000 now. Now, with Giggle Finance, you can be self-employed, okay? You can be MLM, multi-level marketing, and they're willing to give you a loan, all right? Now, the best part about it is that all you have to do is meet the minimum income requirements. The minimum income requirements, regardless of the bad credit, they're looking at making sure that your minimum income requirements at least 3 to 4 deposits monthly. Also making sure that the income is at least $1,500 or more in order to qualify for a loan through them. All right. Now, here's the thing. Again, for you guys that are self-employed entrepreneurs and stuff, you're missing a lot of money. And the reason you're missing a lot of money is because you're not a registered business. Okay. And by you not being a registered business and not having an active checking account, it's a lot of companies that would be willing to work with you. However, you have to be a registered business and not a DBA, doing business as. All right. You have to be a real registered business. If you need help with that, we can help you with that. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. That's what we do. All right. Now, the next one is Apache Lending. Now, Apache Lending is a tribal lender. They're a direct lender. Okay, now the interest rate on this here is astronomical. Okay, just to be transparent. However, here's the thing about with tribal lenders, I continue to tell you, they do not have to go through all the same hoops as with your traditional banks and credit unions. Just the interest rates is much higher. All right. And they're not going to report it on your personal credit. All right. With Apache Lending. Now, the interesting thing about it, because they do not report it on the personal credit, they will use third-party credit bureaus like Clarity, DataX, Teletrack, in order to see what's going on with your credit file, making sure that you're not trying to scam them. All right. So that's the thing about it with those tribal lenders that you have to understand. All right. Then you have Rise Up Lending. Rise Up Lending, again, is another tribal lender. Okay. They go up to $3,000. All right. Now, here's something else. You have Lend Nation. Okay. And so they offer a $10,000 line of credit that I continue to tell you guys. They're not in all 50 states, which a lot of these lenders may not be in all 50 states. However, with that 10,000 line of credit, let's just say you get approved for that 10,000 line of credit. However, you only use 5,000 of it. They're only going to charge you interest on what you actually use versus when you get a loan, they charge you for the whole amount of the loan. So that's the reason why I like finding lenders that actually do offer the lines of credit. All right. Now, for some of you guys, you may have a car that you done paid off with equity in it. Then you can hop over to Yendo. Now, Yendo offers up to $10,000 as well. All right. So here's the great part about Yendo. You may have equity in the car, but you're still making payments on the car, and they still will give you a loan. That's the great part about Yendo. You don't have to have the car paid off. All right. Now, you also have Net Pay Advance. Net Pay Advance. All right. They offer a $3,000 line of credit. Okay. Again, that line of credit, that's where your leverage at. That also goes along with Credit Fresh. Now, with Credit Fresh, they offer a $5,000 line of credit. That's where your leverage is, guys. Looking for places that offer that line of credit. Like Checking to Cash, they offer a $4,500 line of credit. That's where you want to go. Get the line of credits because you're only paying interest on what you actually use. That's your leverage. Now, here's something else. With some of these lenders, making sure, like I said, for as an entrepreneur and stuff, I know it's very hard for you to show deposits and stuff. You can actually fake your deposits. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because, like with banks and credit unions, if you have like an investment account through Fidelity or through Robinhood or something like that, you can transfer money from your investment account over into your bank account, and it qualifies as deposits. This is why people are getting like $5,000-$6,000 out of the banks, because they're using their investment accounts to make those deposits. Or if you have a registered business and depositing money from your business checking account to your personal checking account, that counts as a deposit as well. Okay, so you have the leverage. It's just in a matter of understanding how to use it to make it work. But going back to, like I said, some people are getting like $5,000 or $6,000 out of banks just by opening up a checking account and making the deposits. right? And so meeting those criteria of the deposit, then now you're doing that for 90 days. The reason banks want that for 90 days because they're trying to build a relationship with you. And by them building a relationship with you, it's going to make it easier for them to help you qualify for like your first credit card with them. Okay, you're not wanting to go for that loan. You want to go for that first credit card. And so with that credit card, you want to make sure that you either have it paid down by the statement date to the 10% or paid off. But if you do that for 3 months and when you with a bank or credit union, it makes it easier for them to give you higher limits even when you have bad credit. Okay, it's all a numbers game. All right, all in a matter of what type of relationship you're trying to have with them. All right, then for you to look for some free money, you can go to unclaimed.org, put in your name and address, and if the state is holding any money for you, then that way you can claim that money as well. And I've been telling you guys, this is free money that with class action, you don't need no receipt. With class action, they have plenty of companies on there that do not need a receipt, and people are getting up to $2,000 off back. Free money is just sitting there, and some people are taking advantage of it, some people are not. But there's plenty of companies on there. I'm pretty sure there's a few companies on there that you don't patronize that had a class action lawsuit. And so that money is just sitting there. And again, like I cannot emphasize this enough, on most of these here companies, you do not need to show proof of receipts, right? This is just where companies have had a class action lawsuit, maybe in for 2 years, maybe 5 years or 10 years, and they're finally settling and stuff. And so that money is just sitting there. So you can have an opportunity to go get some free money, okay? So another lender that you may want to look at is Loan at Last. Loan at Last, they offer up to $3,000, okay? Then you also have Explore Credit. Explore Credit offers up to $2,000. All right. Just remember, again, with the tribal lenders, those are going to be your easiest ones. And yes, with tribal lenders, you can have multiple loans. Now, again, because the interest rates is definitely higher, you know, it may create a challenge. And here's something else I want to say, because some people sitting up 2-3 o'clock in the morning and they worried about paying their bills, and then they're saying, well, why are you telling people about these tribal lender loans? The thing about it, when you don't have nobody to help you, you can't go to mama, daddy, brother, sister, or relative or somebody to help you, and your light's about to get cut off, or you need food, or you about to miss a car payment. You need to go somewhere that you know that, hey, at least I got the money to take care of this. Then once you address that issue, then that probably gives you another 30 or 45 days to where you can say, okay, well, let me figure out how I can pay this money back and get myself out of this situation, period. The thing about it, all of these are just short-term solutions. This isn't a long-term thing. It's just to give you some leverage for you to get help to pay your bills, all right? So I hope this helps you. If you have any question about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.